I don't know if I want to do that too much. It's going to tax the old voice. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? How are you going? I hope you're right. This is the NBA Straya for a cracking Thursday, May 23. All day. That's right, it is Thursday. No fooling. Tell you what, I'm your host, James Clements. I'm stoked. What an awesome game we've got to talk about today. You can also see my ugly mug on Fox Sports Lab NBA, where I completely nailed that Game 1 pick, just saying. You can also see me every morning doing the NBA Straya drop-off playoff picks after I drop off the squids at daycare and school. That's pretty fun. Just wandering the mean streets of Brunswick, cold, shivering, wondering what I've done wrong with my life to be out of puff, walking like a kilometre and a half. Anyway, we're here in the fancy studios. We're going to talk Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's right, Wolves and Mavs, good game. And also the All-NBA teams. Who got snubbed? Oh, geez, who was snubbed? If you ask me, not really anyone, but we'll get to that. We'll cover the game wrap in the game wraps. That's right. That's how those work, you see. Also, that's not an IFL, mate, no, mate. Spud of the night, Better Than Lonzo Ball. We've got some the Unpopular Opinion of the day, and Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a fire-grilled take, as well as an Andrew Gaze Gray Mamba Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. There's a couple of good ones in that one, too. Then we'll pick and preview Friday's game, which will be the Game 2 of Indy Boston, which is going to be very fun. Trust me, I know things. Right, there we go. That'll do. Let's get into it. Episode 1103 of NBA Straya. I didn't think about that one. I wanted to say 1103, but that made no damn sense. Let's go!
This is Joe Ingles, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. You better watch out for the Chuck attack if you're Kenny. Enjoyed that one today. So inside the NBA, like, they've got Draymond on for the Western Conference Finals. So I've got producer Homie with me today, not Gerald. We kicked him out. I don't know. He's probably already on holidays. That's what he does, isn't it? Doesn't do too much work, I'll tell you. But anyway, so Draymond Green joins for the Western Conference Finals, just to add a dash of dickhead to, like, the entire concept of, like, the pre-halftime and post-game show. And boy, did he absolutely add fucking nothing today, I'll tell you that much. It was a punish. But the cool part was, Chuck did roast Kenny. Just one really, really easy, simple one where Kenny, the Jet Smith, who adds himself not very much to the entire panel, but, you know, it's all about balance, right? You've got Chuck and Shaq on one end, and you've got the two straight dudes in the middle, Ernie and Kenny, who are like, ha, aren't we kind of funny? And everyone's like, no, stop trying. But Kenny was like, oh, yeah. He took like fucking a minute to basically go, oh, I'll tell you, whoever wins this series, yeah, oh boy, yeah, whoever wins this series, whoever wins this series, I'll tell you, they're probably the face of the NBA. And everyone's like, what? Yeah, all right, sure. What, so Luka or Ant-Man? No shit, idiot. And Chuck lets him get to the end of it, which is very nice of Chuck. And Chuck then goes, Ken, that was the dumbest thing I ever heard. It was just like, that was awesome. Draymond's just off his chair fucking laughing at him. It was great. Anyway, yeah, the addition of Draymond, just for the simple fact of, look, I think we had a very brief catch-up in the office just before this, didn't we, homie? And I think someone was saying, oh, yeah, Draymond was on his podcast, and Draymond said, and I'm like, Draymond says a lot of things. He just says a lot of things. Most of them are not very fucking interesting. So it's like, all right. Because you can sort of like flap your gums and just talk heaps and heaps of shit. If there's not that much substance, there we go, I use the word, behind it, you sort of sit there and go, who, what? All right, shut up, idiot. Does that apply to you, Jim? Maybe. All right, let's get into the daily whip around. There you go. Bit of news. What is the news? Well, we've got the All-NBA teams, but before that, the report went around earlier today about the new NBA media rights deal. Now, you know me. I love a lot of this nerdy shit, but I think talking about it is fucking just fraught with boredom. But this one's pretty interesting because it looks like TNT, so they're the ones who actually put on Inside. You know, they have the right to match the NBC's offer for the B package of NBA broadcasting, right? So the A package, it looks like, will still go to ABC, ESPN Disney, right? For $2.8 billion per annum. That's a lot of moolah, I'll tell you that much. That's a lot of Stephen A. Smith. Couldn't justify that price tag. Cleveland. So the A package means you can do the finals, conference finals, playoffs, obviously, primetime games, the WNBA, international rights as well. Happy days there. The B package is the one that NBC's like jumped in on, and they're like, well, we'll pay between $2.5 and $2.8 billion as well, and we'll do primetime stuff as soon as the football is finished. And everyone's like, that's a great idea. Including Adam Silver's like, this is exactly what I want. And also, you're going to pay me lots of money for it. So he's stoked. So Sunday night basketball, Sunday night football, homie, is like the biggest thing, right? It's like, Sunday night footy, but done American. And it's usually sung by like one of those like female country singers. And you're like, they've spent a lot of money on that. Whereas we have a KFC song for AFL. Anyway, NBC will do basketball night in America or Sunday night football, whatever the F they're going to do, right? After the football season's done. That's a big ticket item, and that's huge. And everyone's like, oh, I remember when NBC used to do the basketball. It was great. They had round ball rock. It was really good. It's like, look, rose-colored glasses and all that sort of shit. It was fine. But it's pretty cool because it's going to force these guys to lift their game, which is the most important part. And then on top of that, Amazon. That's right. Amazon going to swim in over the top of it and go, here's a bit of fucking cash there, Chop. You want some cash, man? $1.8 to $2 billion a year as well, including the in-season tournament, the play-in tournament, first-round playoff games, as well as the WNBA and international rights. And that's basically free money. Like, they're doing that shit already, but not getting paid for it. So this is Adam Silver going, I just made us $2 billion. And everyone's like, fuck, not bad for a weird-looking alien. Anyway, Amazon doing that. That's very cool. But I think what this comes down to is that TNT, who paid $1.2 billion a year in the last deal that they negotiated 10 years ago, upped it a little bit. The head of Warner Brothers Discovery, so the parent company of all this sort of shit. See, this is why it's so fucking nerdy. I want to talk about basketball already. But he's like, we don't need basketball. So I think you do, you idiot. And now they're going to probably take him to court because it's like, well, you didn't give us a chance to match. And it's like, well, we are giving you a chance to match. Pay up, pony boy. So we'll see what happens. Fascinating stuff, because the crux of this is that they could be making $7 billion a year from their media rights. $7 billion, homie. That's so much money, to the point where the salary cap could be above $200 million a year in like 28, 29, which means a max salary would be around $72 million. And amazingly, this is where the All-NBA team comes in, because they've announced the All-NBA teams. First team for your All-NBA team in 2023-2024. Nikola Jokic, hello. SGA, the shy Redder Gilgeous-Alexander himself. Luka Doncic, the Slovenian Andrew Gaze, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, and of course, Jason Tatum, the world's most boring man. Cool. That's very cool. That's the 6th straight first-team spot for Giannis. That's the 5th straight for Luka, 3rd straight for Jason, 2nd in a row for SGA, and Jokic and Embiid have basically been going back and forth. But, of course, Embiid didn't play enough games this season, so not bad. Second team, Jalen Brunson, our one true hero. Love that. Anthony Davis, sure. Kevin Durant, not bad. Anthony Edwards and Kawhi. I still don't agree with that one. Third team, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, sure. LeBron James, and Domantas Sabonis, question mark. Kind of love that because I love the Souvlaki King. But the craziest part is, so you remember how all the All-NBA stuff is tied into like contracts and gear now? Luka can sign a 5-year deal worth $346 million, starting at $60 million a year in 26-27 as an extension to his existing contract. That would be an absolutely insane amount of money, because his final year of his contract in 2030-2031 would be $79 million a season. Whoa. Better than that would be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, however, with a 4-year extension worth about $294 million in 27-28, where he would almost become the first man in the NBA to get paid $1 million per game. His contract in the final, his pay pack in that final year of that contract would be $81 million a year in 2030-31. $1 million a game, basically. That's the first time that would ever have happened, obviously. But that is awesome. So good job. This is weird, though. When you're tying in bonuses and extra incentives into your All-NBA stuff, does it work and make them play harder? I don't know about that, but still, that's a lot of chump change. On top of that as well, I think Halliburton and Ant-Man also get some extra walking around money for making the All-NBA teams. And when I say walking around money, I think it's $49 million on the top of their existing contracts extensions, so that's pretty cool. And AD, he's also the first player to make both an All-NBA and All-Defensive team this year, which is pretty weird because Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year, could not crack the 3 All-NBA teams. So, Jim, who are the snubs? Snubs! I would have pissed off Kawhi Leonard. Oh, but Jim, he had a really good season, did he? Did he really? Did he? Just examine it for a second. Oh, he was pretty good here and there. Was he better than Jaylen Brown? My answer would be no. Tyrese Maxey had a cracking year. To be fair, I'd probably have him over Halliburton, who was shit in the second half of the season. It's kind of weird that he still made it. He was really bad in the second half of the season, was Halliburton. So I would have put Maxey in there. Rudy Gobert, this stuff at tower, probably over the top of the Souvlaki King. Bam Adebayo, maybe. De'Aaron Fox, even Wemby. But really, are they snubs or are they just not quite good enough? Jaylen Brown probably got dogged by the boys. Outside of that, Maxey over Halliburton. Outside of it, I don't really give a fuck. So there you go. All NBA teams, lock them away. If I go back, and this is the cool thing about having your running Google doc, I can tell you what my All NBA team was at different parts of the season and who my dudes were. And it was basically those 15 players, but I had Jaylen Brown on the third team. I think I had LeBron on the second team and AD on the third team. And yeah, so Halliburton out for Maxey. That's exactly what I just said. So nailed it. Good job, me. All right, with all that in mind, let's do a game wrap. Game wrap, game wrap, game wrap, game wrap. Let's go. Game 1 of your Western Conference Finals. The Dallas Mavericks defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves 108-105 in an absolute fucking corker of a game. If you've not watched this, you're taking the piss because it was fucking great. How great, Jim? Really fucking great. To the point where we had an overtime game in Game 1 of Boston Indy, and it wasn't as good as this one that didn't go to overtime. This had everything. It had suspense, intrigue, drama, romance. Sure. It had it all. But awesome game because what we saw from the Mavericks was an incredible first half by Kyrie, then an incredible second half and specifically fourth quarter by Luka. But really, that fourth quarter was insane. So we'll get to that in a second. But slow-mo Kyle Anderson was going off chops early at 11 points out of fucking nowhere, right out of the gate. And you're like, that's pretty good. And then he didn't score again. But the Minnesota offense was firing. And this was kind of like the big thing going into this game, where you're like, if their offense gets off to a good start, Minnesota's league-leading defense should at least keep them basically in front the rest of the game. They should win. If their offense does the bare fucking minimum, they should be right. It did that, but then it did not, because in the second half, the offense sort of just fell apart. And the weirdest part was Dallas's offense didn't sort of miss a beat, really, after the OKC series. Started off really well, and you're sort of waiting for the point where Minnesota's defense is doing such a good job on them that they sort of eke it out to like an 8-point differential, a 10-point game. And you're like, geez, this will be hard for Dallas to get back into it. But it was because Kyrie's like, fuck, hey. He actually said this during the game as well. He's like, yeah, look, I came out. I'm the only one who's been here before. And everyone's like, well, that's not true, because Dallas were literally in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago, you fucking lunatic. Seriously, Luka, he's on your team. He's your teammate. He was in the Western Conference Finals. What are you doing here? He's like, nah. I'm really successful. I'm a champion. It's like, all right, Kyrie, fucking settle down, mate. But at the same time, he wasn't wrong, because he's the veteran. He's a veteran leader. And he's like, I need to score way more than I did the entire OKC series. And you're like, well, that's a good point, because you do. And he did. It was absolutely insane. He dropped 24 in the first half. He was shredding. The problem for them was Jaden McDaniels was hitting every sort of three under the sun, and so were the Wolves. So this is what happened. Kyrie was scoring lots of buckets. Luke was doing pretty well. You had PJ Hamilton, Washington, Derek Jones Jr. sort of pissing around, not doing too much. But the Dallas big men were catching lobs left, right, and center from Luka and from Kyrie. Derek Jones Jr. is like dunking on shit as well. And that just sort of kept them within pissing distance the entire first half while Kyrie's going off chops. to make up for this horrible, horrible, horrible 3-point differential. The Mavs were 2 of 13 from downtown in the first half. The Wolves were 10 of 23. I'm no math magician, but if you're 10 of 23 and the other team's 2 of 13, you should probably be up by more than 3 points at the half. Probably. If we do expected scores like we do in AFL, that's what we're talking about. But it was back and forth and amazing stuff. Luka and Ant-Man were basically trying to outdo each other at times with some of the insane assists. It was really fun offensive basketball. And it was ridiculous. It felt ridiculous in the moment the Mavs were keeping up. But it's just a testament. And this is exactly what I hit on in the video this morning. It's like the offensive intelligence of the Mavs, basically for Luka, for Kyrie, just lifts them up and should keep them in a bunch of these games. And it exactly happened. I know. I'm as scared as you are. Like, what the fuck? But Kyrie gets an and one at the end of the first half, or else this would have looked a little bit dodgier. So they're down 62-59 at the half. That becomes a Kyrie and one at the very end of the half that he got to go in. And he was very clearly just like, hey, I need to get going early rather than do this whole second half thing that I've been doing. Luka was also looking for his shot. And that's how they stayed close. They just rode some Luka and Kyrie magic. It was fucking awesome. Kyrie with 24 in the first half. Ant-Man could only muster 13. 14 and 5 for Luka at that point. And then Dallas, there was a moment at the start of the third quarter. Luka just looked, he's like, oh, man. This is just fucking, it just feels like a lot of graft. It's like, you're not fucking laying bricks, Luka. Just settle down, mate. Like, you're not fucking digging trenches in Ballarat. Jeez, couldn't be me. Ugh, don't miss that. But there's a couple of possessions at the start of the third quarter. And there was this moment where you're like, oh, Luka's missed a mid-ranger. He's looking a bit down. I think at that point he'd hit 1-3. And then he's like, oh, this is just too fucking hard oh, God. But then he hits one little step back. Off he goes, and away you go. And it got them right back in the game. Suddenly it was 68-68. Dallas had gotten their first lead since the very start of the fucking game. Timeout, you had Luka and Kyrie. They just went, well, if we throw lobs to the really tall dudes, it's going to fuck up Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. It's exactly what happened. Then they started blitzing Luka as well, so they got the ball out of his hands earlier, so he couldn't just throw lobs over the top of Rudy Gobert as the Stafford. And this third quarter was just back and forth, to the point where Dallas finally, having gotten the lead, they were right there, and they never let it get back out of hand, though. It was a 1-point Minnesota lead going into the fourth quarter. And then that's where it got fucking awesome and weird and fun. Because a 13-0 Dallas run to start the fourth quarter after Nazareth hit a 3, right? You're like, oh, this could get real wobbly. Dallas looked all out of sorts. Luka missed a shot. He looked all sad again. And you're like, this is not great, Luka. Come on. But then he got one to drop. Then he got another one to drop. And then he hit a 3. And you're like, that's a 7-0 personal run. And the Mavs are back up. This is insane. Got them up 8 out of absolutely nowhere. Absolutely flying. As soon as he hit that 3, you're like, oh shit, the Mavs are on here. And then they're back up 8, right? They're feeling good. Luka misses a free throw. They had a chance to go up 7 rather than 6. And you're like, this is the exact sort of free throw that will come back to bite them in the ass. It's the first free throw they've missed all game. And it's the only free throw they missed the entire game as well, BT Dubs. But Dallas then just went ice cold for the next 4 entire minutes. So they've ripped off a 13-0 run. And then Minnesota turned around with a 13-1 run. And you're like, oh, this game is absolutely off the fucking chain. Because I think Kyrie misses a shot. Gobert throws a lob to Cat. It was beautiful. There was also just 2 really bad Dallas offensive possessions before that, where it was a 4-point game. Minnie missed a 3 that would have brought the house down. Then Dallas just had this horrible Derrick Jones Jr. missed open 3. That got them to 4 of 22 from downtown at that point. 4 of 22. Minnesota hit a 3 from Cat. Boom, the Wolves are back in front. The place is going fucking off its chop. Another impressively bad couple of moments from Dallas. Another turnover from a Gobert block. Kyrie launches a 3. It's a miss. They're 4 of 23 from downtown at that point. Ant-Man turns up the other end, hits a 3. Bang. That's just the most opposite 6-point swing you've ever seen in your fucking life. And it's that 13-1 run after a 13-0 Dallas run. You're like, That's pretty good. This is fucking chaotic. Talk about a roller coaster. Then Luka hits another three out of nowhere. It's 102-101. And that's exactly where this game completely turned. Luka hits that shot. There's 3 minutes left. Minnesota missed. There's a PJ Hamilton-Washington turnover that was brutal. But then he makes up for it by nailing another three. Remember, they had 4 of 23 from downtown in this game to this exact moment. They hit these next 2 threes. They're the only 2 threes they hit the rest of the way. They're the only 2 threes they took the rest of the way, which is actually crucial as well. Because at 104-102, with 2 minutes to go, Karl-Anthony Towns has a putback. It looks sick. It's tied up the game. Uh-oh. No, it didn't, because it was still in the cylinder by a bee's dick. So Mavs still up 2 with a minute to go. An incredible bucket from Luka to put them back up 4 with 45 seconds left. He just pulls off the Dirk Nowitzki step back jumper mid-ranger. It was beautiful. Minnesota, they have a miss. Kyrie misses a runner, though, in the paint where he's like, I think I'm throwing a lob, but also I'm just shooting. That would have put them up 6 and would have just killed the game. Either way, it's an 8-0 run by the Mavs to that point, and it's a game of runs. No shit, Sherlock. Can we fire it up? Ring, ding, 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 ding. It's a game of runs. Oh, duh! Like, no shit it is. But wow, what a bunch of runs. Then Minnesota have a Cat 3 go in when they're up 4, and you're like, fucking Jesus, mate. They have a Naz Reid. So Cat, the 3 goes in and out, and you're like, God damn it, mate. That was like life flashing before your eyes gear from Dallas fans. Naz Reid gets the putback, but they have to play the foul game down the stretch. The Mavs just hold on, despite fouling Mike Conley on a 3, which is maybe the dumbest thing you've ever seen. But he misses the 3. Touch wood, luckily, I guess. And he misses the second free throw. The game's over. You're like, holy shit, I can't believe Dallas held on to this. Like, the way that this game swung back and forth in that fourth quarter, because the Luka's just like, I'm just going to make some of the toughest shots you'll ever fucking see against the best defense we've had all year. What do you guys reckon about that? And you're like, fucking show us then, you Slovenian lunatic. And he's like, all right, here you go. That was unreal. Bang, Dallas win it. So Minnesota go 18 of 49 from downtown. They hit 3 times as many triples as Dallas, who hit 6 of 25. They hit the ones that mattered, though, didn't they, down the stretch, I'll tell you. I love that shit. But the craziest part is, so what? 42% from the floor. They had 10 turnovers. Incredibly enough, the Mavs out-rebounded this Wolves team, who have like a 7'20" fucking French bloke and another 7 foot fucking, I don't know, soft as charm and fucking roll of toilet paper over there in Karl-Anthony Towns, who had a total of 7 rebounds. Gobert had a total of 7 rebounds. They had 40 as a team. The Mavs had 48 because Dan Gafford and Derek Lively had 20 between them, which last time I checked, 20 is more than 14. Again, no mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So, incredible gear, right? Like, the turnover is not a giant factor. The free throws, 17 for the Mavs. The big difference was they hit all of them, bar one, 16 to 17. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they went 11 of 18 from the free throw line. Again, if you miss 7 free throws and you lose a game by 3, producer homie, what do you think about this? It's probably bad, right? Miss 7 free shots at the basket. You lose by 3 points. What can you say then? Except for, sucked in, dickheads, hit your free throws. Anyway, Ant-Man goes 6 of 16 from the floor. There was a weird moment. They're like, oh, he's grimacing in pain. It's like, are you going to tell us anything more about that? And they're like, no. Great commentary. Just amazing commentary from Reggie and Stan and Kevin Harlan. So he ends up with 19 points. You might remember at the start I said he had, 14 in the first half? So he goes completely MIA in the second half. He went 5 of 12 from downtown. He hits that huge fucking 3 in the fourth quarter, but it was basically the only impact he had. It was chaos. Anyway, so finishes with the 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. One of those classic, oh, fuck it, I feel a bit hurt, but I'm going to do everything anyway kind of games. He had 3 turnovers. The 5 of 12 from deep was nice, but if you can't get that fucking win in this sort of game, it's brutal. So misses 10 shots, hits 6 shots. McDaniels, meanwhile, is completely fucking just unconscious from downtown. He ends up with 24. He shoots 6 of 9. Nice. From downtown. 9 of 15 overall. Does a little bit of everything, but couldn't really keep the proper lid defensively on someone like Luka. They did a great job in shutting down the other wings for most of this. Like, PJ really struggled. So did Derek Jones Jr., basically whenever they were trying to go against any of the other wings. But Karl-Anthony Towns, 16 points on 6 of 20 shooting. I don't know. There was a moment in this game as well, like, oh, yeah, look, Karl Anthony Towns, he's really changed the narrative on him. It's like, has he? Or has Ant-Man just gotten fucking awesome? I think it might be the latter. Just saying. 6 of 20 for Karl Anthony Towns, 2 of 9 from deep. That last one that rattled in and out was fucking, like, I've never seen a shot go in more than that one did and then pop out. It was absolutely brutal. But 7 rebounds, not enough. 2 assists, 1 turnover. Rudy Gobert, had 12 and 7 with a couple of blocks. 3 fouls. Rudy was at plus 10 in his 38 minutes, and they lose by 3. That's brutal. Naz Reid, really, really good. He was knocking in threes, feeling great about stuff. 15 points for him. He shot 5 of 9 and 3 of 6 from deep. And Slow-Mo, as I mentioned, he had 11 points in like the first half and then did nothing else in his 17 minutes because he barely played the second half. Conley was the tough one. 1 of 6 shooting for him from downtown. 2 of 7 from the floor. 6, 3 and 3. And Nick Alexander-Walker in his 16 minutes hit 1 shot of his 6 attempts. So pretty brutal in terms of like the other guys and essentially all the guys, apart from Jaden McDaniels, who was off his fucking head. So Minnesota were plus 36 on threes, and they lost. That's just a kick in the dick. Anyway, Dallas, 6 of 25 from downtown, 16 to 17 with the free throw line. As mentioned, almost shot 50% from the field. Very cool stuff. Luka ends up with 33, 6 and 8. He shot 12 of 26 and 3 of 10 from 3. Not bad. It's pretty good for Slovenia, you know. And Kyrie goes for 30. So he had, 24 in the first half, 6 in the second half. Didn't matter because Luka took over anyway. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And the threat of Kyrie is the biggest thing for me. It's like Minnesota just watched him torch them. Like he was torching some sort of medieval village in like the in the olden days or something. Feels like he'd do that. And just like that put the fear of God into them. So every time the ball touches him in the second half, they're like, oh, God, he's got it again. Get it off him. Get it off him. And he'd pass it to Luka, and Luka's like, oh, here's, I'll pass the ball to Dan Gafford in the air, yes. Bang, is alley-oop. Very nice. I don't know how Luka turned into fucking Borat, but here we are. Anyway, PJ Hamilton, Washington, ends up with 13.7 rebounds, goes 2 of 8 from 3, including a massive one late. But this is the role that he should be playing. Just needs to hit a couple more shots, and they're fucking laughing. He shot 4 of 10, though, in the end. 2 of 8 from 3. Derek Jones Jr. has 8, 4 and 2. He shot 4 of 9. Didn't hit any of his threes, but was still very, very handy. But obviously it was Lively and Gafford. 9 points, 11 rebounds, a plus 19 for Derek Lively. That's incredible for a rookie. And Gafford, 10 points, 9 rebounds for him with a block. Only 2. It was funny when they started blitzing Luka, and it's like, hey, Dan Gafford, try to dribble once. And he's like, okay, oh, fuck, I dribbled off my foot. He did it twice. It was amazing. It's like, oh, he has to create his own shot in the paint. He literally has to pick up the ball and go one step that way. And he's like, nah, bro, I can't do it. Just throw it in the air and I'll dunk it. Anyway, love him. Josh Green, 1 of 4 from the floor, 1 of 2 from downtown. Love it for the Aussie. 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 block, 1 turnover, 1 foul. 3 minutes for Dante Sexton up Exum. Drew a very, very, very nice offensive foul. Didn't trouble the scorers elsewise. He was 3-0-0-0-0-0-0. He was a +1 in 3 minutes. It's pretty good per 36 numbers, just saying. And Tim Hardaway, the lesser, got some cardio in as well. 10 minutes for him. He had 4 rebounds. Got a couple of really actually pretty fucking tough rebounds in that moment too. So he was a +7 in his 10 minutes. Not bad for the lesser. Either way, Dallas win the game. They're up 1-0. That's amazing. You've taken away home court advantage. Let's do an NBA Straya approved performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That is a knife. First half Kyrie and second half Luka. They're the performers of the night because you put them together. That's how they win the fucking game, right? So absolutely insane game from both. But by the same token, like they both sort of had their struggles at times. It didn't matter that much because 33 for Luka, 30 for Kyrie. Luka in the fourth quarter probably just takes this performer of the night because he had 15 points in the fourth quarter alone to basically win this game for them. 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 2 of 3 from downtown at that moment. He had 2 steals as well, one of which was huge. Just had one of those random Minnesota stops in there where it's like, oh, they thought they were going to score on that possession, and Luka sort of just got in the passing lane. He also had 3 rebounds and a block. It was absolutely unbloody real. So great job by Luka. He and Kyrie, like the way they work together, I'll tell you what. Got to eat a little bit of shit every so often in this year business. And the Kyrie trade, where it's like, yeah, my entire point was that it raises the ceiling of this Dallas Mavericks team. I still think Kyrie's a lunatic, but God, he's maybe matured a little bit over the last year and a half. Does that happen sometimes, homie? What do you reckon? I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'm barely mature at all. If I got the squids going, Dad, let's fight. I'm like, yes, let's all fight. Good dad. But either way, the approach of this game for Kyrie of just going, all right, boys, let's just make sure that we fucking hang with them. We'll be right. And you're like, he's not wrong. Like, this is a really, really, really good sort of like leadership moment for Kyrie. So I really enjoyed that. And as I said, his first half was just absolutely immense, where he has the 24 points. He shot 11 of 14 in the first half. That is absolutely insane. Luka goes 6 of 14 and 1 of 6 from deep. And then Luka's second half was just absolutely, as I mentioned, absurd, because for the second half, he ends up with 19 points. He goes 6 of 12 from the floor and 2 of 4 from deep. Absolutely amazing gear. Combine them together, there's your performers of the night. What about Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. That would go to Nicky Alexander-Walker and Karl Anthony Towns. So Nicky Alexander-Walker hasn't hit a 3 over his last 2 games. He went 1 of 6 from the floor today, 0 of 4 from 3. 2 points in 16 minutes at home, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and -5. The toughest one, though, was probably Karl Anthony Towns. The 6 of 20. 6 of 20. Brutal. 2 of 9 from deep for the biggest, best shooting big man of all time, according to who? Him. So, look, tough one for Cat. At least with the Mother's Day game, he had a bit of an excuse. This one was just, you were shit. And to be honest, it was just like, oh, look, he's come a long way. It's like, has he, though? Has he really? He's still making weird, dumb fouls. He's taking shit shots. I don't know. But the 3 that he hit earlier on in the fourth quarter was pretty bloody good. But yeah, the one that he missed that basically went in, bit of a tough one. 6 of 20 shooting there from Cat. Very Spud-worthy. How about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no
Old mate,
mates.
no
Old mate, no
mates.
mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? Well, Draymond. So I mentioned this during the intro about how he's now doing inside the NBA. Getting fuck you, Draymond, or Draymond sucks. Yeah, Draymond sucks. Draymond sucks. Chance at a game that you're not playing in. That is definitely some old mate, no mates vibes, right? You're just like, I'm just here doing a job. I'm just commentating. What am I doing? And like just Wolves fans who don't really have too much against the Warriors, like really, apart from like, I don't know what, the Andrew Wiggins trades and shit like that. But by the same token, it's like, Draymond sucks. Draymond's like, I'm just doing a job, bro. I'm just here like hanging out trying to commentate. And they're like, fuck you, we hate you, you suck, blow it out your ass. And it's like, that's awesome. That is definitely some old mate, no mates. The other one is Rick Carlisle. Love this because sometimes as a coach, you got to throw yourself under the bus, right? You're like, yeah, look, the boys might have fucked us tonight, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it was all my fault. This loss is totally on me. With 10 seconds in regulation, we should have just taken the time out, advanced the ball, found a way to get it in, made a free throw or 2 and ended the game. He's not wrong. So it's a bit of old mate, no mates, though. When you're just going to throw yourself under the bus, it's kind of warranted. But at least you got to appreciate that from a coach. Like, it takes a big man to go, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, fucked it. I cooked it. You're not going to hear Joey Muzz go, oh, man, I fucking love Jason, bro, but I probably could have coached him a little bit better in that fourth quarter, man, when he was just doing like fucking nothing, man. And then he was really sick in the fourth quarter, but in the overtime, I mean. And like, I probably should have done a little bit more here or there, but fuck you, dickheads. Fuck it, we're going to watch the town, all right. And that's what he did. All right, what about pantsing of the evening? This one hurts. Josh Green. He had a dunk deleted by Naz Reid, who then went up the other end and hit a 3. That's the ultimate pantsing. I'll tell you, like, fast break, dunk, ball should go in hoop. As simple as that. Naz Reid just goes, fuck you, Josh Green, bang! Slaps it out of his hands in the rim, basically, then goes back up the other end and hits a 3. That is a fucking pantsing. But then the other thing is that the Minnesota governor, Tim Walz, he declared May 22nd, which was today over there, as Wolves Back Day. And there was a hidden message in like this weird proclamation producer homie. Remember those, what were they, acrostics? The type of poem where you start like a sentence with a letter and then the letters going down, they spell out something. I'm pretty sure that's an acrostic. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, the first letters of each of these proclamations, which was fucking weird, spelt out "bring your ass," which is like the Minnesota, Anthony Edwards' like catchphrase for "bring your ass" to Minnesota for Charles Barkley, who's like, man, I haven't been to Minnesota for 50 years or 20 years. And he's like, bring your ass. It's like, that's pretty cool. I also hate when politicians are fucking tryhards. It's like, haha, I did a hidden message. And you're like, yeah, you're still a fucking dork though, aren't you? Yeah. Anyway, better than Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
He's going to keep doing it. Jaden McDaniels, he won it the other day. He won it again today because he is shooting the absolute, I believe the technical term is the piss out of it. He has been absolutely incredible. I also like, so PJ Hamilton Washington did this at the start of the OKC series, and now Jaden McDaniels is just doing it now. He's like, I'm never going to miss a three again. And you're like, fuck, I don't think you will either. So for the last 3 games, he's gone 3 of 5, 3 of 4, and then today 6 of 9. Nice from downtown. But 21 points, 23 points, and 24 points. At this rate, he's going to score 27, 28, and then 30 in the next 3, and then probably like 60. So he was incredible today, 9 of 15 from the floor. It's also one of those weird things when you're a role player and you have such a fucking awesome start to a game that the stars are like, all right, thanks for that, Jaden. Now we'll take over. And you're like, but that was working. Jaden McDaniels was shredding these motherfuckers. He's hitting every 3. He was 6 of 9 from downtown. He hit 1 3 in the entire second half on like only 3 attempts. That's some dog shit. Give me some more Jaden McDaniels. He ends up with 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 9 of 15 shooting. He was a weapon. But in the second half, took an entire 6 shots, had 5 points, went 1 of 3 from deep. I feel like you should be trying to include that dude a little bit more. Anyway, but he was substantially better than Lonzo Ball, who's never played in a playoff game in his life. All right, let's do some ENRs right after, let's say, this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Daryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do it. NBA Straya now is brought to you by the NBA Straya shop. Get your merch, would you? Get a hoodie, get a t-shirt, get a coffee mug. I've got one of these right here if you're watching on the YouTubes. Delicious. Doesn't make the water any better, but it looks cool. Stubby holder. That'll keep your booze cold, just saying. Go to nbastraya.com/shop or just click through on the socials. You've got pretty pictures there. You've also got the link tree, whatever it is, on the Instagram. Go have a look. They're very nice. The T-shirts are really, really good. I do have to give one to producer Homie and producer Gerald. I'm just really slack. That's my thing. Also, I've got to get $20 from them each for it too. So, guess what, Homie? You owe me $20. Had a good one from Scotty Baxter yesterday. Just watched today's game. Was a lot closer than I thought. Took a lot of big shots by Tatum and Brown and some turnovers to win it. Should be a fun series if the Pacers can keep it up. Siakam was a good mid-season pickup. Like, there was an incredible thing today where Tim Legler from ESPN was like, hey, I asked the higher-ups at ESPN, can we focus on the Pacers a little bit? They're being awesome. And they're like, no. No one fucking cares, Timmy. Shut up. And that's fucked because this Pacers team, as I sort of said yesterday, they are really fucking psychotic and fun, and that offense is off its fucking head. And it's really cool. And this series is going to be fun as. At the same time, as I said on yesterday's show on the Unpopular Opinion of the Day, they could also get their ass kicked for the series. There might be 4 really fun games, but the Celtics might win them all. But Siakam is this weirdly underrated sort of pickup, I think, during the midseason. Because I think everyone's just like, oh my God, the Knicks got OG Anunoby. And you're like, yeah. And the Pacers got Siakam, who's the most perfect dude in the fucking world for this team. So it should be a fun series. Pacers should be able to keep this up, at least defensively, for a chunk of it. It's just going to be hard for them to win it, I reckon. What else do we have? Matty O. So the only teams with 2 players in the All-NBA teams were both out in the first round of the playoffs. Interesting. Yes. This is why I found it fucking weird that Jalen... So this leads into the next one. Is Jaylen Brown actually an All-NBA snub? Yeah. Like, it's fucking weird. They won 1 million games this year, the Boston Celtics. And if Tatum's going to be your first-team dude, there was also a substantially large amount of games where Jason Tatum's like, I'm afraid, mister. And Jaylen Brown's like, get the fuck out of the road, you dork. And just, like, started smashing dudes. So, Brown was definitely a snub. Yeah. And it's weird that the Suns and Lakers, with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and the Lakers have LeBron and AD and both go out in the first round. It's fucking strange. It's very interesting. So, just saying. Makes a good point. What do we got here? Oh, there's something from Brett Pierce. I can't read that one at the time. I'm just trying to fucking scroll through it. What else we got? Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards, they both earned an extra $41 million. It was $41 million. There you go, from earlier. For the All-NBA selection. Should this shit be linked? Yeah, nah. The performance-based incentives I'm actually okay with. I find it fucking strange as hell, though, the process by which we measure those incentives. Like All-NBA, All-Star. Like, it's weird that, like, the All-NBA, which is, like, voted on by media and all, like, the giant voting panel and stuff, like, they hold the keys to $41 million extra in money for these dudes. That's fucking weird as. Surely we can just figure something out of, like, actual just, like, specific benchmarks that aren't linked to something that's at least a little bit of arbitrary sort of gear, like this sort of stuff. So, I don't know. Because I don't think it made Halliburton or Anthony Edwards play any harder. Like, that $41 million extra, if you make All-NBA, it's like, we're fucking good. It made Tyrese Halliburton come back earlier so we could make that money, which I guess is the intended consequence. But at the same time, he didn't look fucking healthy for 2 months. So I don't think he actually should have made it. So that's fucking weirdly ironic, isn't it? What a weird world we live in. Anyway, do Indy have a shot tomorrow keeping up the Game 2 woes with the Boston Celtics? Yes, of course they do. Because Game 2 Boston, Jesus Christ, it's like the under-14 East Keilor mixed netball team at this point. They just can't win it. So the crazy part was, hey, Jim, do you believe in Jason Kidd now? Yeah, nah. Well, he just won his first ever Game 1 in the playoffs with this Dallas Mavericks team. That's insane. I still don't really believe... Like, he used both of his challenges. The second challenge that he used in the second half was the stupidest fucking thing you've ever seen. He's like, that ball came off them. I want the ball back. It's like, Jason, it's a jump ball. So you've basically got a 50-50 chance of getting the ball back anyway. He's like, no, I want to use my challenge. And then they fucking brick the shot anyway. It goes back up there. And then they hit a 3. And you're like, that's way worse than any other outcome we could have had. So great job, Jason Kidd. But burning your 2 challenges like the start of the third quarter. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway. Can Dallas, however, win Game 2 in Minnesota? Yeah, nah. Nah. I think Minnesota come back and just fucking and really fucking put the hurt on them. It's going to be a fascinating series, that one. Anyway, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
So, you might remember the name that I had there on that third team All-NBA. Domantas Sabonis, the Souvlaki King. Oh, yeah. I'll have the combination meat. Easy on the tomatoes, bit of lettuce, bit of garlic sauce in there. Thanks, tomatoes. Cheers, mate. He's gotten a first place vote in Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, All Defense, All NBA. It is amazing because people are like, oh, you know that these votes actually, like, people get to see who did those votes. After the full media votes will be all made public. It's cool. It's eventually going to come to light who keeps voting for Domantas Sabonis, like, to be the best player ever. And it's fucking hilarious because it's a great bit. I don't want to find out who that is. Like, this is my unpopular opinion. I love that it's a mystery. Like, it should be just me. Like, it's something I would definitely do if I was given a media vote. I mean, I would definitely not do that. Adam Silver, I would do everything by the book. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy, we'll give you a vote then, he never said. I love that they can stay anonymous. I think that's fantastic. I never want to find out who's like the Souvlaki King's biggest booster because it's funny as shit. It's like, biggest dick in the world, Domantas Sabonis. The world's greatest lover, Domantas Sabonis. Like, that's awesome. Great, good on him. Like, just fucking go on the full hog for you, man. All right, what about Outback Takehouse, though? It's Thursday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah. 2 for 1 blooming onions. That's right. No prick in Australia knows what the fuck these things are. What do you say it is? Some sort of deep fried onion. What the fuck? Made to look like a flower? You're taking the piss, mate. The only onions you eat in Australia are the ones that is cooked as black as a dead dog's guts and then chucked on a sausage out the front of fucking Bunnings. Anyway, I guess you can have a deep fried one and make look of flour if you're a fucking lunatic yank. Only at Outback. And today's Flame Girl take is, if Kyrie wins another title playing with another player who's better than him, he has a chance to go down as one of the very best second bananas of all time. Just like all of Klay Thompson's career. 2000 Shaq. 2000 to 2003 Kobe. 2009 and 10 Pau Gasol. 80s Kevin McHale. Kareem from 1981 onwards. 2012 and 13 D-Wade. And even 2017 Kevin Durant. In fact, if Kyrie does that and they win another one after that, he might go down as the best second banana of all time. Only at Outback. I just love... So, this one just bubbled up in my brain earlier today. I'm like, who were some of the best second bananas that I can remember over the last few years, right? And it's like, it's a lot of Klay. It's funny that KD's like the second banana and he won the finals MVP in 17, but it's like still Steph, man. But he was the second banana to LeBron, and now he's the second banana to Luka. If they somehow make the finals and fucking somehow win it, that would be fucking hilarious, especially if you beat the Celtics. Anyway, the Strayan Player Watch, obviously, we've already gone over it, where Dante was out there for 3 minutes and Greeny had the 3 points, had the block shot, which is a bit brutal. He had a couple of good minutes. It was good to see that they gave Exum a little bit of run. I wouldn't mind have seen a little bit more, but it was incredible they played Jaden Hardy a little bit more, actually, and he had the 4 assists and 1 or 2 shooting, right? But Greeny, 1 of 4 shooting, 1 or 2 from 3. That's pretty good. You'll take that. 3 points, 1 rebound and a block, 1 turnover and 1 foul. In how many minutes did he play? That's the question to an answer. An answer to a question that I have not written down. He played 13 minutes, did Greeny. On ya. Right. Let's do an Andrew Gaze Grand Mamba Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one. Because now that Luka has made an All-NBA team again, he has more All-NBA first-team selections than Steph Curry, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, Moses Malone, and John Havlicek already. He's 25. That's fucking insane. Jesus Christ. That's absolutely fucking chaos. Good on him. The other one's LeBron. I fucking love a good LeBron stat. You know that. He's now made 20 All-NBA teams. 20! That's very obviously the most ever. The second place is like, Kobe, Duncan, and Kareem, who have made 15. So that's just fucking silly. But the most impressive one, that he was the youngest player to ever make an All-NBA team, and he's also the oldest. That's fucking cool as. So that's a bit of excellence right there. What I do not have is my phone. So for an Game Day Baller Game Day Patty Mills check-in, producer homie is going to grab my phone for me so I don't duck off camera. That was incredible. What a legend. Let's do it. Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Bang. Jim, have you been doing the Patty Mills exercises yet? I mean, not exactly. Or at all. As I said, lifting... So I think one of his ones... So week 4, keep the passion. I've definitely kept the passion. You can't prove that I haven't. My passion today has been unrivaled. What else is it? What is it? Earn the right, chase the vibe. I think I've done all of those today. I think you'd agree with that one, homie. I've chased the vibe. I'm always chasing the vibe. I've earned the right, I guess. How have I not? I did a good thing by taking the kids to school and we didn't bash any old people. We earned the right to be okay. So day 4, lift, court, mobility, recovery, and treatment. Well, I lifted the squid a bunch this morning, so that checks out. I haven't been on a court today. We could probably fix that. Mobility, I mean, I did some stretching. It's because my fucking groin was a bit tight, you know what I'm saying? Recovery, I sat on the couch watching the basketball. And treatment, Well, I'll treat all my ills with a bunch of beers tonight. Done. Sorted. Love it. All right. But the Patty Mills, like, follow along with his actual, like, workout plan is fucking immense. So go check it on Instagram. What are you doing? All right. Let's do a game preview for tomorrow. Game preview. Game preview. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. How's it all going? Oh, not bad, Jim. You usually turn that around and I ask you how it's all going. Yeah, I just want to see how you're doing. Oh, it's not bad, bro. Yeah, thanks. All right. We nailed the pick this morning. Dallas plus 4.5. Felt pretty good about that. Tomorrow we have Boston hosting Indy for Game 2. Will the Game 2 woes continue for the Boston Celtics? I think nah. I think what they did was actually flip around the Game 1 that they played yesterday was this Game 2. And Game 2 will be the Game 1 where they kick the fuck out of the Pacers. So I'm going to take the minus 8.5 for the Celtics. Because like the way Jrue Holiday played was amazing. But the massive amount of upside of like, hey, Al Horford took 1,000,000 shots. Let's not do that again. I think we'll get another big Tatum and Brown game. But the Derek White game is just looming, right? I reckon he'll hit like 5-6 threes. He'll have a massive one, and they will curb stomp this Pacers team with a bit of defense. Because I think that was the most frustrating thing if you're a Celtics fan watching that yesterday. I talked about it on yesterday's show. That just fucking learn how to put away a team. Like they've done this time and time and time again. And then, like, a team as dangerous as the Pacers, like, you actually have to fucking put them in the ground or else they will keep scoring and keep close and fucking beat you. They're not Miami without their best player. They're not fucking Cleveland without their best player. You have to put them in the ground. So I think Boston will probably do that tomorrow. I reckon about a 14-point win. I'd feel pretty confident in this one. I think the Pacers shot the piss out of it yesterday. Looked really good. And Boston still fucking won. So I think the Celtics minus 8.5 for Game 2. I like that a lot. I'd probably be leaning on the Brown, Tatum, and White combo as well to do that. That's going to be a fun one. Can't wait for tomorrow. These games are fucking great. I don't think I pointed that out as much as I ought to have. Like, Game 1 yesterday was sick. Game 1 today was fucking rad. How good is it to be alive? The answer is very. So we'll do it all again. When? Tomorrow. That's right, because we're back on deck tomorrow. In the meantime, make sure you're following the NBA Straya on the old Facey, Twitter, IG, all the good stuff. TikTok as well now. I'm going to do more stuff on the old TikTokers for the old blokes. I'm just doing the playoff picks on that one as well. So it's on Instagram, Facey, and TikTok. I should do a little bit more, and I probably will. Anyway, we're all over the socials. You know that. Get around the AFL Today show as well. We are taping the Thursday night teams one directly after this show, which will be just Jim sitting going, I'm fucking tired and I want to go to bed. Which is most of my approach most of the time these days. But anyway, AFL Today is absolutely smashing at the moment, so get around it on the podcast apps and shit like that, as well as on YouTube. You can watch this one on YouTube now as well. But you can also get around Cricket Today podcast, Football Today podcast, as well as NBA Straya, NFL Straya, AFL Today show. Hold all tickets with the GGs. Producer Homie does a great job with that one too. He's not just a pretty face. There you go. Check a rating review for all of those. All of them are off Fighter. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever weird apps you use on your Android phone. I don't know what it is. I don't know what goes on over there. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just fucking do it. So, do that. Rate, review, star, subscribe, or fucking smasher. NBAstraya.com/shop as well. Get your merch, and you can click through on the socials as well. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song They Rule. So do House Hatch, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. They all rule, so smash them on, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Triple J and Earth, Bandcamp. Buy some merch, do all their good stuff. NBA Straya supports Australian bands, so should you. All right, that'll do us for today. We will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And later, now.